Hello, everybody. This is Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners, and here's my weekly update on my sample trading portfolio coming up next. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's just another week now into the new year, and just to continue the theme for last week, once again, it's been saddened by the fact that on Sunday, basically, Ukraine plane that flying off from Iran got shot down by something, and 176 lives was lost. And eventually, Iran comes out and said it did it. At the start, it was denying, say malfunction, engine malfunction, or something has caused this to explode midair or something, and it now turned out it could well be Iranian thinking that there was some sort of missile coming in from America, from Iraq, and then shot it down, and now turned out to be just a civilian plane. It's very sad that it just a week or so into the new year, and there's killing by U.S. On the Iraqi soil, and then Iranian mistakenly, shoot down a civilian plane. So like 200 odd people all died together. There's something. All this stuff is just so sad, and the news coming out for the whole week more or less is who did the job, who shot down the plane. Eventually, Iranians turned out to be the case, and the thing is, everything seems to be. I don't know what news you look at from which countries. Everybody is pointing to the Iranians and the protests in Iranians for shutting down the airplane, and initially for denying, they didn't shut it down, and it's a protest in Iran itself. And there's a couple of very odd things. I'm just from a third party side on the side. First of all, we have the bullying tactics of America, British, the president, Trump, to just send a rocket and kill somebody, a high-ranking officer in another country. That's just, from my book, as far as I'm concerned, is an assassination. Whatever the details they might have, American might have to say, this Iranian officer is about to plant or plot something. This is not the type of justice that should be dished out, isn't it? From the biggest power. This is the U.S. supposed to policeman of the world. But the policeman, the world seems to be judge and jury and executioner without any remorse to this case. Still haven't shown the world that what type of plan that the Iranian general has been planning, and all they say is just possible high value targets. America has been targeted by the Iranian, but what is the fact? All we got is whatever Donald Trump says, or Secretary of State in the U.S. says. What is the fact? Anybody can put something on the table, actually show everybody around the world, see what is actually happening. No. And given the fact that Donald Trump can treat and say all these things and try to bully his way around, and sometimes saying things whatever he wants, I have very much doubt that whatever evidence is there, it might, as far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't cause be the cause of going to assassinate another general in another country. And bearing in mind, it's just Iran. What about Iraq? The Iraq also have a ranking general, who is working with the Iranian general to kick out ISIS around the Middle East. Iraqi government obviously is furious to both U.S. and Iranian, using Iraq soil as a war ground to fight the differences out. And but who is shouting up and down, jumping up and down, shouting for the Iraqi who got killed? This just not right. And then now, secondly, everything seems to be all pointing to Iranians sending the plane down, the civilian plane down. But I thought there's some serious thinking that over the week that the start of New Year, as a third party just come and have a look, is I have a serious question about this Ukrainian plane. First of all, we have about 5 years ago have the Russians taken over a part of Ukraine, Crimea, and accidentally, I don't know who it is, they still shot down the Malaysian airline passing through the airspace at the time. And they all say so Russians or Russian-backed rebels, whatever it is. This time, same thing, they're saying Iranian accidentally shot down the Ukraine plane. Again, they just say it's Russians' weapon. I mean, Russians never done anything here, and basically the media just say the Russian is a finger in it. Secondly, and just what I said about Crimea, there was an accident, and Malaysian airline got shot down. That's about 5 years or so ago. But why the hell nobody even learned from that experience? That's whole aviation industry supposed to learn from its mistake, isn't it? That's why flying is one of the most safest form of transport. Now we have a more or less a war zone in Iran and Iraq at the time. On the previous couple of days before the downing of the plane, U.S. was sending missiles or drones into Iraq, killing Iranian and Iraq key generals. Iranian then more or less a few days later sent some rocket back to U.S. base, which first surprisingly nobody got killed. I thought Iran looking for blood, but how the hell nobody got killed? Is Iranian rocket so bad? Can't even aim. Can't even cause any damage except just buildings, or is it some premeditated phone call going back in the background warning the American to get out, to basically go and do get out of the compound and do something, and because there's some rocket coming on. This is very surprising. And then Donald Trump come and say, all is well, which is very strange way to reply. But nevertheless, on this one, you have a war zone here. Why the hell the aviation industry haven't learned from what happened back in Crimea and basically tell the Iranian or any airlines that have flight going past Iraq, Iran at the time to basically pass that area, don't go around. And secondly, any civilian airplane shouldn't be taken off until at least few days when things settle a bit, or some sort of emergency plan that have both Iraq, Iran agreed, and American agree around the area to let people just fly out, so that the civilian can just get home, so to speak. We have an active war zone more or less, and then a civilian plane is allowed to be departed. This is just beyond me. So Iranian Aviation Authority not doing its job, but also the International Aviation Authority somehow didn't have this red bell ringing, saying don't, red flag ringing, and the bell saying don't go there or don't take off from there, because it could well be turned out U.S. is sending something over at the time, to back to Iran or Iraq area, and what happens then? This is possible, quite a big risk. But why nobody seems to say this? Why the hell aviation authorities around Iraq and America or Europe and Iran here allowed the plane to take off? It shouldn't be. But nobody's asking that question. Everybody just pointing fingers as Iran do this, Iran do that, Iran's very bad. And very much, hush on the American aggressions on here. And that's one of the reasons why, in my point of view, from a third party, why the Middle East or people from around the world in general doesn't like the American foreign policy. It's very much one-sided, and it's very dangerous as far as I'm concerned. And it's really saddened me that people just dying left, right, and center right off the bat from a new year, and very sad indeed. And then we have now. Also, next is the Brexit. Apparently, it's near the end of the month now. Oh, well, no, sorry, not yet. Middle of the month. So, going to be about 2 weeks then. Will Britain basically vote to get out of Europe? And that's definitely the case, it looks like. And because Boris Johnson have got 80 extra seats now, you just got to say basically, whatever opposition they might have, just got to bulldoze the situation. So, it's going to be quite fluctuation a lot with the British pounds over the next couple of weeks. especially at the end of the month, and see how it goes. But as far as I'm concerned, British pounds is quite strong against US dollar, against Japanese yen. It's still above the 50 days moving average. So I think that's still things to play with. And then obviously the gold and oil seems to all come back down from the high sudden move up due to Americans sending drones to kill some Iraqis and Iranian generals. And you see the sort of calming down of the Middle East or the whole episode for the last week or so, or last 2 days basically. And then the gold basically spiked up straight after the New Year and then comes straight back down. Same thing for oil, crude oil, and WTI, all doing the same thing. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Iranian we basically just say stop and don't do anymore. Everything will be fine now. No, it won't. American government say, oh, now it's ready to talk. Let's say everybody talk in America and Europe, especially the UK, seems to lapped off American. Just say, okay, come out and talk now, Iran. It's still having much to say. U.S. President Trump is wrong, sending a rocket into Iran without getting NATO or United Nations authority first, which I just go and kill somebody, whatever you like. And Britain seems to continue just supporting America irrespective of what. And I just think that's not very good for British soldiers around that area either. Just very, very sad for me. But as far as I'm concerned, Iranian is not just going to let it go. I mean, Iranian Muslims in general, they will have a red flag to say they're at war, at war with the American. By just sending some rocket and damage some buildings, they start to write proportionate retaliation of U.S. government killing a high-ranking or third most powerful person in Iran. I don't think so. But Iranians are not stupid. The Iranian government is not stupid. They know American has superior power, military power, and will decimate Iran and its oil and so forth. So Iranian is not going to do a lot of things overtly right in front of your face. So very much it will be covertly. So whatever Americans said this Iranian general is going to do or planning to do, it's going to continue in my view, and probably a lot more aggressive than what they planned, because they really do want blood. So this year, if that is the case, if my thinking is correct, I hope not. I really hope there's no more bloodshed. But I don't think. I mean, if somebody come over and kill your brother, and you really just for a few punch of that guy who killed your brother, no. Or just destroy his car? No. You want that guy to be put in jail minimum, or you probably want to kill him. So in this case, just destroying some buildings, Iranian would just be happy in general? Don't think so. So Iran is going to do his stuff, and American and the European probably have to watch the back, and most likely the US. And then this is going to, have a long-term effect in the Middle East. So gold and oil probably going to be quite rough this year, and I think gold probably, because of the uncertainty in the Middle East, will be going up. I mean, in general, this is what I'm thinking anyway, without this Middle East issue that happened just over the past 10 days or so. And effectively, US market is going up more or less forever, but it has having a trade war with not just China but Europe, also with Canada and Mexico and so forth. I mean, the IMF already say the world growth is going to be down to 2% or maybe less than that, isn't it, to the 2020, and we have all the trade wars and non-working mode between different countries. I don't think in general the economy is going to be good. So therefore, the oil price should be more or less stagnated and not go sideways. And if anything, people will just jump to gold because economy is not doing well and just want something to back it up, to cut down its risk. So gold probably will slowly but surely going up. And I was expecting end of 2019 that gold will go break about the 1500 line. That's just my expectation, but the chart didn't say so until really the last couple of days, and then it just shot up, and then this Middle East episode, and then shoot everything sky high, but then everything come down now. Everybody say, okay, what do you call oil is a sell, gold is a sell. As far as I'm concerned, oil maybe going sideways, but gold definitely not. It's just a period of quietness, wait and let's see what the future holds. Both economy is not good. The Middle East destabilization is definitely not helping, and we'll see just how it goes. So, and the next week we have supposed to be China is coming to US to sign some phase 1 trade deal, but at this moment we're expecting within less 5 days or so to sign something. Donald Trump's tweet the 15th of January. China is going to sign something, right? Sign the phase 1 deal, right? But there's some jittering from China already, from the South Chinese, the South China Post. Basically, they're not very happy Donald Trump just treated one side to say, China's coming to sign something on the 15th, and then he's going to Peking to start phase 2 negotiation. I mean, so far, if you step back and look at what all Americans have been saying, what all Chinese have been saying, it's always American who's been keep on telling the world this is what will happen, everything is great, Chinese is going to back down, Chinese is going to sign this, or do this, do that, it's going to be a great deal, go, U.S. farmer go and buy some more land, farm machines and employ more people, but there's no details here. Say how much China is going to buy agricultural product and services from America, and how long is it for, and what's the deals, the details, and what phase 1 include, not just buying agricultural products, which China has always said it will. You can buy some more, fine, but you talk about banking reform within China, certain practices, IP thefts and all sorts of things, those are more like phase 2 stuff, and that is where the crunch coming in, and that I don't think China is going back down, especially how Chinese infrastructure and companies are set up, having a lot of issues internally, and they're relying on the government to help them, support them. But that has been doing that for 10, 20 years, and suddenly just want them to change overnight or even a few years, it's not going to be possible. It's going to take time, slowly moving forward. The Chinese economy and its industry had to be strong enough to withstand competition from overseas. Otherwise, overseas companies just for example, finance or telecommunications, just come over and just take things over. And then what will happen to the Chinese? The Chinese just go let the foreigners coming in and just take over and be dominant in those markets and some more? I don't think so. It learned from its mistake that Western power are there to make money and take over things, and not very nice to Chinese, to China in general. Back 100, 200 years history, if you read any of the Chinese history, you know how much it suffer. So China is not going to back down. China is going to move forward in a way that is suit them. So it's a mixture of socialism as well as capitalism. They want to make money. Everybody want to make money, especially Chinese. Chinese money, drugs, gambling. It's always there. Okay, it's unlike in other countries, similar stuff. And China want to make money, want to make deals, trade instead of having war, having sanctions, having tariffs on each other. That's not their goal. But they only do things in the way that they want to. Okay, it has its problem. The West not very happy with certain things that China is doing, which is fair enough. But it's better to sit down and talk to each other than forcing each other. And China is going to just step in. So, or as far as I'm seeing, it's very much like poker. Or negotiation in general, Donald Trump, he always say the act of the deal or something, He's supposed to know what to say and what to do and kind of thing, and he probably should know the first one who say something is the one with the weakest hand. China at the moment so far is still very quiet. Whatever American is saying and government is saying, China is just quiet. Sometime we come out and say, okay, the agreement with what the U.S. saying. Otherwise, most of the time just saying, respect each other, work together, we both win. Work together rather than just telling me what to do and force, things down Chinese throat, so to speak. It's not going to work. And especially, the media definitely not talk about it. I don't know why. It's just I have talked about it in my podcast. Is the next 20, 30, 50 years is Southeast Asia time. India have about 1 billion 1.2 billion. China have 1.5 billion or something people, and the middle class is huge between those two countries. And you think the American don't want to get into that market? It definitely wants to. So if you try to force Chinese back to a corner, well, basically fine. It basically just anti-American or anti-West, just not buying American stuff and just make its own industry stronger, better, and buy internally. And then nobody wins, And that's not the type of things that we should be seeing between the world leaders. But this is just how it sort of goes at the moment. So we see how things are next week. And that definitely will play into the Donald Trump's, making the stock market go up and down like hell again. So it's got to be an interesting week next week. So next week or two, you have the signing of the phase 1 deal between US and America, and then the British coming out, Brexit definitely signing into power by end of the month. So next couple of weeks will be fun. And also, surprisingly, I was born in Hong Kong. I never have any experience or any earthquake. Apparently, there was an earthquake last week or something in China. Hong Kong. It's like, I never heard of it before. So all these little signs, little things, it's like starting 2020 is not very good. A lot of death already, and but the stock market is going to go and do its stuff. So I don't know, but basically we just got to wait and see how things are. And okay, so let's look at the update of the sample portfolio and see who is going up and who is going down. Coming up next. Okay, first off the bat is Apple. Apple seems to be just like Dow Jones, forever going up and up and up. So it's short term, medium term, and long term. It's more or less been buy since I started, doing this sample portfolio update podcast. And similarly, the Dow Jones has been up and up and up. So from what I understand so far, people already start saying, this Apple valuation is getting too out of hand. It's more or less like it has, from my system said, the short term, medium term, and long term started somewhere in August, around to just under $200 mark, to now you're talking about 300, 310 kind of area. It's more or less like a double already, and that's in the space of in about 5 months. So it's a lot of bubble as far as I'm concerned over here, and will it last? Who knows? But the backdrop is when everybody think things won't go higher, prices just continue to go higher. So this is basically continue to rise and rise. And one thing, this is what about trend following. Irrespective of what the markets say, what you think, if the system said continue to stay long, then you stay long. And this one has been 5 months or something now. That's like 21 days or so per month. It's like 100 days and still trading. So it's relatively good still on the long term. So this is what trend following is, And I have one example coming up later on is basically showing you the type of things I'm talking about. What trend following does and how it is. So next off the bat is Amazon. It's more or less doing sideways with the Dow Jones going, making new highs. The sideways trend that's been around for like a month, 2 or 3 months, but shoot up. But again, it's just going sideways now. It's not making too much headwire. So we're just getting there. So short term is buy, medium term is neutral, and long term is buy as well. That is for Amazon. Next is Australian dollar against US dollar. It's been fluctuating because of all this what's happening in Iran and oil prices and gold prices and so forth. So effectively, short term is now a sell, medium term and long term still a buy. But there's been quite a bit of fluctuation in here, and there's all talk about maybe the Central Bank of Australia is going to cut interest rate, I think end of the month or something, because obviously there's a big fire in Australia and still it's still going on, and that's caused quite a bit of disruption to the economy. So they might be talking about reducing the interest rate. This is why one of the reasons also why the U.S. So it's Australian dollar against US dollar is broken basically a short-term support line as well, which I talked about previously more or less, and then just basically come straight down at the moment. So short-term is a sell, but we'll see how it goes. Just this kind of things. I mean, they've generated crosses has been fluctuating a lot because the US dollar is going up and down, and across the board is just causing issue. So just watch out. Brent crude and normal WTI crude. They both short term is sell, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. So like I said before, for crude oil, I just don't see how it can go into make new high, and obviously we have the geopolitical problem, and you see the price shoot up because worry about what happened to the Gulf region, disruption to oil supply, and then when things calm down, the price just come straight back down again. And so this is basically going back to the norm, so to speak. And I think just go probably sideways trend. But one thing to note though, even though the price has come down, so short term is a sell. If you look at the 50 days and 200 moving average on Brent crude is around $63 area, 63, 64, and it's converging. And so there's got to be quite a bit of support above 63. And so long the price is still around above 64, so to speak, long term is still a good buy. So we just basically wait and see where they are on that one. And for the WTI crude oil, it's around the 50 days is 58 area, the 200 day 57 area, so around that again. So should provide some sort of short term support, but we'll see. As far as I'm concerned, my view is will be a side trade, a side trend trade for the rest of the year because economy is doing well in general. But who knows? And the system basically said short term is definitely sell, and medium term is neutral, long term is buy. So just watch out. DAX across the board is a buy. So short, medium term, long term is buy. But there's quite a bit of fluctuation going on last week, and basically just go up and down. It's trying to make a new high. Following the Dow Jones lead, but it's having difficulties, so it basically got a slightly upward flag kind of channel. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it's definitely trying to break a new high and being beat back down again. So it's still a buy at the moment, but it's quite a bit of volatility. Next is Dow Jones. Well, like I said before, it seems to be going up and up and up and never stop. So it's going back up again, and this one short term, medium term, long term as usual is still a buy, and there's like uptrend since end of September to now. We got 3 months uptrend, it's still moving up there. So we just wait and see, but it's just like how long is Dow Jones or the all three US major index gonna last? We don't know because it's been around since 2010 or so, or 2009 kind of thing. The upward trend basically started, and now it's like 12 years now. It's got to be 12 years this year, isn't it? And so will it last forever? I don't think so. But when it comes down, I think it'll be quite painful because even with a third of the time coming back down, a third of the value, which is reasonable for a long-term trend to establish itself. We're talking about 2-3 years downtrend. So I don't know what might happen, and we'll just have to wait and see. But at the moment, it's all uptrend. The higher it goes, the more cautious I get because I just feel like, are you actually sure? But then, like I said before, the system say follow to go up, then just follow. But just get ready to get out if the things turn sour. Okay, so next is for the FTSE 100 in UK, and it's going sideways a bit after basically in December it got up a little and then now going sideways. It's not doing too much either. And it's like DAX trying to make new high, just seems to be having problem. So it's buy across the board at the moment. So buy short, medium, and long term is a buy. So we just have to wait and see. Next is gold. Like I said before, because of the geopolitical issue in Iran with the US, the price basically have broken, to I think just got through 1600. And then came straight back down again on the daily basis. About us on the 8th of January. So from the system-wise, trading-wise, it's a buy across the board. So short, medium term, long term is a buy, but the short term is just about finding some support around the 1550 area, which I think I was having problem to break above before for a few months. So that should be some sort of support there. So just watch it. Next is Hang Seng, the Hong Kong index. Basically, since end of the middle of December, it's been uptrend. So across the board, just like DAX and Dow Jones is a buy. So short, medium, and long term is a buy. Nasdaq. Well, what can I say? Just like Dow Jones, it's just doing some funny thing and just continue going up around this, approaching this magical 9,000 area. I think I actually broken it yesterday. Oh, sorry, I said Friday. That's it. Friday the 10th of January, and then probably go straight back down again. So it's just below the 9,000 mark. Who knows? That we'll see how it goes. I mean, last time people were talking about it won't break above 7,000, and it's gone above it, and it's gone above 8,000 as well. Now it's 9,000. So who knows what may happen? So just watch out. But across the board, short, medium, and long term is all a buy. Nikkei, which is the one I want to talk about here a bit more. Basically, like FTSE as well as DAX is doing a bit fluctuation, moving down. Remember, this is one of the index that seems to have moved before everybody or all the major indices, and there is this on the curves on the chart. If you look at the MACD histogram, just the standard MACD against the actual curve of the Nikkei chart, you can see what I call the bearish divergence. Basically, MACD histogram is going down, and then the price of Nikkei still continue moving up. Not a lot, but still going up. So there's a slight divergence over there. So which means that price is moving up, is losing its momentum. But from a trend following point of view, the Nikkei short term is a buy, medium term is now neutral, and long term is a buy. So basically, this is what is actually happening in here in the Nikkei. And I just look at my log here on the Nikkei stuff. It's the short term system here, the turtle system 2 system basically have closed out on the 8th of January, and basically the trend following system have given me 3,515 points of profit, and I was just doing £1 a point. Basically, that's a lot of money over there for a total 55 man days, so 55 working days. So it's around just over around 2.5 months. And this is the type of things that we're talking about here. So in Apple, if it reverses, you see a lot longer, probably 100 days or something, for the price, and it's gone up like probably double or things like that. This is the kind of thing you have. Just a couple of stuff that I need to point out here. Trend following system is by itself, in its nature, is trying to catch long-term trend. Long-term trend doesn't mean a couple of hours or a couple of days or a couple of weeks. It most likely means months. Okay, sometimes could be years, depends on which market it is. So in this case here is about 2.5 months, and it just continue. And when you go up and up, you just stay there. Now the thing is, a lot of things looks great, and people tell you maybe on YouTube and stuff, say it's fantastic while riding it, but nobody talks much about the mentality when you're holding such a large gain. I mean, it's £1 a pawn, you can make 3,000 something. So if you make I don't know, if you put £10 a pawn, I mean that's 30 odd grand or whatever. Let's say £5 a pawn is still like 15 odd grand or whatever in your pocket, riding there for like 2.5 months. A lot of people might not be able to hold on to it. And this is the type of thing that as a trend following trader, you need to learn that nobody can teach you this. Yeah, everybody can tell you how to do it, but you have to actually go through, because you alone can understand what your mental state is at the time during these 2.5 months, for the past 2.5 months. And how you hold yourself, tight and not deviate from your system and continue to let the system do its things. And also, because trend following by its nature, we never go in at the bottom, we never get out from the top. So this is not the maximum profit that you actually got, but it is a reasonable profit that you can go from the market. And that is actually in my bank account now, so which is great. And the main thing is for general people. this took me, for me, when the first time happened, I have like long-term trade like this, when the gold last time went up to 1900, back to 2010, 2011. It was really a mind opener for me, but also I feel a lot of pain because I'm make down 1200 or something within space of just over a month of holding the price. But while I'm holding that gain, the price move up and down, fluctuates, go up, down, you know. You're looking at £1,000 gain, suddenly going back down to only the 200, and you say, oh crap, I better get out, and just so that I at least get a 200. But that was before I did trend following, and I thought of all the old mistakes of getting out too early and not let my profit run. So I let my profit run and just continue. And in one time, you actually gone up to like 1,500, gain of 1,500. So rather than take the money out, and I basically just wait for the system, and the system come down, basically exit the trade, and I make about just over £1,000 for £1 a pawn. And that is great, but the mental thinking and feeling when you have money burning your pocket and you worry about, oh crap, I'm losing the possibility of losing profit. I'm so scared losing profit. And you need to work against that. That's really against the grain of human nature. Really worry about something great in front of you, just grab it, just like a piece of I don't know, £100 or something, paper or a piece of gold on the floor. You want to grab it. Yeah, and then before somebody next behind you or beside you, just go, take it away from you. But in trading, it's different. When the system, especially system trading, your system was there for a reason. You put in a lot of time to understand how it works and build it up yourself. You buy from somebody else, but you have a basic back tester. So the system is there, have a true positive. So long as you have a true positive hedge, that means over a big, long number of trades, I mean hundreds of trades, not just 10 or 20, but hundreds of trades later, you make quite a bit of money out of that, and you end up with more money than you started with. That is the whole idea. But each individual trade, like Mark Dudler says, is just meaningless. It's quite individual, quite mutually exclusive. But you need to follow a system to let the magic of probability and the numbers of positive edge, large number as well, to help you to make money. So in this case, I make $3,500 in 55 days, but it's great. But to actually get there, and I'm sure a lot of people make quite a bit of money out of Nikkei as well, to actually get there and see through the ups and downs, that takes a lot of practice. And man, people can only tell you what to do, and you have to go through that ups and downs and hold yourself basically accountable. And just basically, when you're in doubt, just look at the system and just check the system. That's why I do a daily check on the system. Just make sure that I don't miss something, either get out or get in or something. And this is the type of things that you need to do on a daily basis. So it's much better than day trading. You sit down, in front of a computer 2-3 hours a day or maybe more, and on a daily basis. On this one, I don't have to. I just come back from in a day when I finish work, finish looking after my kids, and just go through my chart and spend an hour, just check through things. And in this case, when my system say on the 8th said, okay, you have to close now, so on the 9th I basically just close out. Okay, so it's just about what you call, I should make about 3,600 or something, but with the slipages and stuff, so just over 3,500 quid, so which is quite good. And that's the type of things I do. The system, in the evening you go through your systematic trade and just look at your log and you say get out. The next day you get out, and that is how I does it. And I think this is a way forward for trend following. It takes away all the emotions and stuff, but for me anyway, all the guesswork and stuff. But the emotion of holding a trade, a winning trade, until its fruition, it can be quite challenging, because you see, especially let's say £10 a pawn, 3,500 quid for £1 a pawn. That would be what, 30 odd grand or something like that. Okay, 300 odd grand. If you do £100 a pawn, £10 a pawn, that way 35 grand in your pocket. Can you hold that thought, and believe that you will just let the market do its things, let the system do its things, and don't cash out too early? Okay, one of the things that really it's about mindset as well. People think they're not worth it. They see, I don't know, £1,000 profit, £2,000 profit, they want to get out. But when they do back testing, they see there's a possible large gain, like £5,000, 6,000, 7,000, maybe more, and they really want it. But when they're actually doing doing the trade, not back testing anymore, but actually doing the trade, so they never see themselves quite able to achieve that £6,000-7,000 worth of profit in one go, as per the system say, simply because they got out too early. They didn't follow the system. And one thing to counter that for me basically is, this is why I've gone to £1 a pound basically is, most of the time. Because I know £1 a pound to be, it's relatively easy. I can do up to like £5 a pound or something. But if I do like £10 a pound, I would face the same issue. That because it's just what I call the heat of the portfolio. There's too much money at stake, even though my account is fairly big. And I basically said, okay, I just worry, that kind of thing. So I put myself back down to like £1 a pound or £2 a pound, those kind of things, and I'm much more comfortable. And that's how I sort of trade as well. But in general, just this discussion, just to showcase you, to tell you, I mean, it's good looking at making money. But the mental strategy, the maturity, and also the practice I have to get into this stage take a bit of time. So as a new starter, don't beat yourself up. I mean, if you even a 10p a pound, you still 300 odd quid, which is good, but you're holding it up for 2.5 months. So for most people, 10p a pound for spread betting in UK, which is quite low. It doesn't really matter. But if you put it down to £100 a pound or something, some of the more sophisticated people out there, then you will probably have to have a very strong mental strategy as well as mental maintenance, and basically watch out what you're actually doing, and not let the fear of losing your profit play your mind too much. So that's my 2 cents on this one. So on Nikkei in general, now basically short term is still buy, but medium term it's gone to neutral now. Just the S2 system just terminated that trade. Long term is still a buy at the moment. Okay, so next is basically silver, and basically it's very similar to gold, and it's basically have gone up really dramatically quickly about on the 8th of January and then come back down again. It's still much higher than previously, when it's like $17.50 area. Now it's around 17. Just under 18, that kind of area. So which is all good. Just continue to do. So so short term is still a buy, medium term is neutral, and long term is a buy as well. Next is US dollar against Chinese yuan. So short term is a sell, medium term is a sell, now even long term is a sell. Now this sort of, I don't know, the Chinese have this old saying that ducks know, or geese know, when the waters in the river is getting warmer, and they go in the water a lot sooner than other people or other animals do. So in this case, basically what I'm saying here is, when the Chinese yuan is strong, that means it is importing will be costing them less, okay, against US dollar in here. And so any tariffs or whatever kind of things, it can sort of help to negate some of that thing, because you have a strong what you call strong yuan, and when you import things from, let's say, America, the import is paid by the importers in China, and because it's a strong yuan, the effect on Chinese imports is not as bad. So it helps the Chinese economy a bit. But this is also saying that on the reverse, that there is a good chance, the market basically saying that there's some sort of deals coming up, probably something of signing. Hopefully next week China and US do sign something, or within this month. That would be great. And then you probably see the Chinese yuan continue to appreciate back before. Remember, this from what we saw so far is, if when both US and China is having a bad day, not having right conversations, the yuan basically gone up to about 7.1 per US dollar, 7.10, 7.20, around that. That's the lowest it went. And then as things progress better, when it's being progressed, when both countries are talking to each other, yuan has basically gained strength. So basically have been gaining, have been strengthening since like end of August, early September. And so from the chart point of view, it looks like it just continue going down, and now it's broken the 200-day moving average as well. So long term is also a sell. So as far as I'm concerned, this cross is a sell. It could be a good omen for US and China going to sign something. Let's hope that's the case. Next on the bat is US dollar against Japanese yen. This one is all over the place. I mean, it has gone down to 108 or 107 area against US dollar, and it now shoot back up again to 109.50, which is the top, more or less the top of the previous high that has been spending around mid-November to mid-December, that kind of thing. So it seems to have this 109.50, 109.70 area is a bit of a ceiling, and the price basically hover back on that. But from a trend following point of view, short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy at the moment, but it's just fluctuating so much, it's so much volatility. We just have to wait and see. Next is British pounds against Japanese yen and US dollars. Like I said, because of Brexit, and also the governor of Bank of England come out and have a chit chat on BBC or somewhere, and basically said the inflation is not hitting its target, and the economy is slowing down, possibly Brexit coming up this year, and hopefully they are ready to help the economy if it tanks, to do more quantitative easings and so forth. Get the economy back to an even keel, so to speak. And this comment basically just hit the British pound pretty hard, and it goes straight back down again. So for like British pounds against Japanese yen, it's hover around on top of the 50-day moving average a bit, and so is the British pound against USD. So long this 50-day moving average is not broken, I mean, long term is still a buy, but on short term is also a buy as well. But medium term for British pounds against Japanese yen is neutral, and British pounds against US dollar, medium term is still a buy. So there's a bit of personally, I think that there's a bit of fluctuation going, but I think the exiting from EU is a good point for good omen for UK, because UK I believe is the third largest within the EU bloc after Germany and France, and UK is not getting a lot of money back from Europe, and a lot of Eastern European countries that's in EU is not contributing as much as the three big boys here in Europe, which is Germany, France, and UK. I was say just now, and if UK coming out, then they have a lot more money. So I hope to look after his things and do things like put more money into education or NHS, that kind of thing. But I think that the other things, like I think I said that before, about the fishery and also this immigration policy, it can be more set its own rule more appropriately to say who can come in and who can fish around the UK fishery area. Of course, EU is going to moan about, say something with it, but at least UK have got more control now than staying inside EU and basically let other country people to take its fish stock or come to live in this country. I have nothing against my immigrant from EU coming into UK, but then it's just like France as well as Germany, the country in EU that have a better economy have see a lot of influx of people from Eastern Europe, and the economy basically slowing down, and basically it's a lot, put a lot of stress on local councils and economy to basically provide the basic services like education, healthcare, and accommodation, so to speak. So a lot of people, some of my friends only moaned about it quite a long time ago. We're nothing against Polish, Bulgarian, Romanian. They're very hardworking people, but it's doing a lot of job that British people don't want to do. But they don't mind them so long they work, just like helping each other. That's good. But then also what they found is a lot of British people just thought some of their jobs might be taken over. I don't personally believe that. I've got a lot of Polish friends. They're doing like taxi driver, bus driver, working on the waste management, collecting bin service and things like that, which a lot of British don't want to do, that kind of thing. Just go into going to McDonald's, you used to see a lot of basically kids from university working there, but you see a lot of Polish people, kind of thing, foreign country people in there as well, in Bath here. So it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a good thing for us. But the migration of people, for better life, better economy, does put stress on local economy. And hopefully, when the Brexit, UK have a better handling of its fate, so to speak, populations of people coming in to study and to work, as well as its border and fishery as well. Okay, so we just have to wait and see. But I think, as far as concerned, it's good for Britain for the Brexit, and therefore directly also good for British pound. So I think this year, next year, both are relatively good. When things settles, then I personally believe should be higher than 1.3 at the moment. We'll just see, because from my memory, when I was in Hong Kong, the exchange rate of British pound against Hong Kong dollars used to be what, $15-$20 kind of thing. That's the highest point. The lowest was about $9. Now it's about 10ish. I think the natural probably around $12 or $13. Against British pound. So I think there's some room for British pound improvement across the board, across other countries' currency. So just watch this space. Next, last but not least, is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, this is a relatively funny thing here as well. On this one, there's been a downward trend since established since end of June, early July area, and recently the price of Bitcoin is just tried to break. Try to challenge the upper channel of this downward trend, downward channel, and this has failed. Now stuck between 50 days and 200-day moving average, and short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, so it's short term. So for me anyway, for like Bitcoin, especially things that fluctuates a lot, normally I prefer, from personal experience as well, just what I see from my account, using a long-term strategy is better, because it fluctuates so much, shutting up and down so much, shooting all over the place. It's better to use medium to long term. I have just normally just use long-term system. So short-term to 280-hour system might see a lot more whipsaw, which means that you got shaking out quite a bit and then go back in and out, take out a lot of hit. But the long-term systems, so to speak, still, is relatively calm, and you let the boys, so to speak, the big bears and the big bull to fight it out, and you based on the sideline just take whatever is left. But at least you don't become dinner for bear or bull and being trampled upon by when bear and bull fighting each other. You basically just let them finish its job, and then whoever wins, you follow that party, so to speak. And that's what long-term system is for. And so we just basically wait and see. There's a lot of talks out there to say, it's broke above 8,000, it'd be great. And it try on Bitcoin, but then it come back down again, and then say so long as 7,600 is not broken. For my short-term system, the 80-hour system said 7,500, around that area is not broken, then still a short-term buy at the moment. But long-term, medium-term is still undecided as far as my system is telling me. So we just basically see what's going to happen, but it's something to watch out for. I think Bitcoin has been beaten down a lot of people are talking down. It has its chance to try to move up and still have failed. We basically just have to see how it goes, especially when the volume is not much at the moment, and especially in the quiet time, shares or cross or indices seems to do funny thing, especially when you're not watching it, then suddenly shoot up, and by the time you actually notice it on the news, it's already too late. It's already gone up 10, 20, 30%. So just watch out the BTC. It might Bitcoin might be breaking above and stay above the 200-day moving average, which is at the moment about 8,600 area. If stay above that on a end of day basis, and for a couple of days, then you can hop back on. Otherwise, I would stay clear. But I'm definitely watching that with interest at the moment, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's the end of the update, and I hope you like it, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you, and speak to you soon. Bye.